Kronemency. Okay. I live at 69 Wyckoff Street. I am the fourth generation in that building. My daughter was the fifth generation growing up in the building. Actually, I have two questions. Has there been a study done cross-referencing the parking permits issues that is explored and the rental, the amount of people that are allowed in different rental properties to make sure they balance? I also wanted to ask, when someone applies for a parking permit, is it cross-referenced with where they live? So if someone for the proposed building who is not supposed to get a parking permit applies for one, is there a way of blocking it?
Yes. That was a study done a number of years ago now.
How many years ago?
Definitely, I guess, a little longer.
Could
I finish answering?
Sure, I'm sorry.
There was a study done on that, looking at the number of parking permits that could be issued in particular areas and the number of spaces that are on the street, not necessarily the residents. There are, in fact, I believe it's either 3 times or 5 times more parking permits available than there would be parking spaces on the street. So one of the conclusions of the study was that it didn't change things a whole lot. But I think I understood the second part of your question. Is there something, because there are a number of residents in a house, so they only get a limited number of parking passes? Yes, it's limited to most properties. You'll get 2 permits and a visitor permit, I believe, if all the vehicles at that property are registered in New Brunswick. I believe you're eligible for a 3rd resident permit. So there is a limited number of permits available for each property. So that there is a cap on that. But there are more permits available than there are spaces available on the street.
Is this cross-referenced when people apply? I mean, I know students who sell this.
I don't know exactly what you mean by cross-reference, but for someone to get a permit, they have to go to the parking authority offices, present identification, and so forth. I don't know that anyone has the ability, if they sell it to someone, other than they get caught by an enforcement officer for some reason doing that. But it's a system that's out there, and there are efforts to try to stop people from fraudulently using it.
Okay, as I said, we have lived in a house for over 35 years. The parking is a nightmare. People use the street to store their cars, basically. This past winter with the storms, that's been a nightmare for everyone, and I appreciate the fact that it's been difficult. We actually cannot move our cars over to the east, because if we did, there was no place else to go. The idea that there is adequate parking in Brunswick, I'd like to know what planet they live on. But I think there could be more cross-referencing. I've worked at the university. I've heard of the scams that are going on very successfully and completely unchecked. So I'd like to know if there's a way that somebody from one of these rental buildings who is not eligible to get a parking permit, if they don't apply, is there a way that it's cross-checked and they are stopped? Thank you. Is there a way? Are they checked?
You have to provide your lease to show that you live there.
And if you're taking a lease that you didn't validly sign, that's illegal.
No, I'm saying suppose a person who has a lease in his building takes their lease and goes to the parking authority and asks, can I get a permit? Do the people at the parking authority know that address X is fully banned and then you can't?
They would know. If it were approved
something out in my nervousness?
Okay, we agree with possible?
Okay, this board gave a similar parking variance to one of Mr. Broder's properties at number 6 Sycard Street, so that the people there cannot get parking permits. One of the things I found in my research is that there's absolutely no place at all for a visitor to park legally when he's visiting a resident of that building during the week. On the weekends, the parking permits are not required near that building and they can park on the street. But during the week, a visit, if they can find a space, but during the week, a visitor to that building absolutely cannot park. And so it seems that that's a failure of this board because you gave the variance and it did not result in adequate parking for visitors. You didn't meet that threshold. And you can argue the residence is more complicated. Was there adequate parking for residents? That's a little more complicated, but there's absolutely no place at all where visitors can legally park.
I was looking, there are parking meters on the street, on Sycard Street, on College Avenue.
Well, the ordinance requires that if you're going to rely on off-site parking, the zoning ordinance of New Brunswick requires that that parking must be within 300 feet of the property. For tenants of the building, and I can give you the exact citation. I'm sure. What?
For tenants, and now you're addressing visitors.
Residents and visitors.
Agreed, residents and visitors.
Well, the zoning ordinance for New Brunswick requires that when a developer is trying to, or landlord is trying to meet its parking requirements, and they want to rely on off-site parking, that off-site parking must be within 300 feet of the property. 300 feet. And I don't think there's anything within 300 feet. And at the last meeting, the parking experts for Mr. Broder were relying on parking decks run by the New Brunswick Parking Authority, which, by the way, you can easily verify using MapQuest, are about the nearest one that takes daily parking is almost half a mile away, and the nearest one that takes monthly parking is 2/3 of a mile away. So they're relying on parking that is incredibly far away, if it exists at all. The cross-examination of Mr. Broder's parking expert revealed he didn't actually know if there was going to actually be enough free space available in those decks to accommodate all of these parking variances that you're giving out. And he had a lot of other uncertainties about that. But my point is that there's nothing reasonably close by where residents of 6 Sycard, where visitors can park. And you're going to create a similar problem, and I think when I research it, I'm going to find similar problems in other properties, and you're going to do it again at 17 Mine Street if you give this parking variance.
Thank you. Yes. Yes, please.
So I also own a property on Sycard Street, and the property on 2 Sycard or whatever, that first property on the corner is, on the corner of 21 Foster is another property I own in that area. So it's all in that area, and there's a construction on Bartlett Street. That's a big housing coming up. I don't know what parking issues they have. So my kids who live on Sycard have a terrible time parking because there's a restaurant in the corner of Bartlett and Sycard, and then they have no parking and they have point parking. And those point parkings are always full. And kids don't want to put money when they are paying the rent. They don't want to put money in point parking because once it expires, they get a ticket. I get a ticket, $80, $90. So I think all my houses are jeopardized because of the parking.
Can I ask a question, please?
Yeah.
The board representative? How many, you have two buildings on Sycamore Street?
I have one on Cypress, one on two on Rosper, and one on Stone.
And how many tenants do you have total in those buildings?
On Cypress, I have 6. On Rosper, I have 5. On Stone, I have 4. And my 2 Prosper is still under construction.
All right, so you have 15 total tenants. How many parking spaces do you provide on site?
I don't remember it offhand. Whatever my township gives me, I hand it over to the kids.
No, I'm not talking about the permits.
Oh, the
How
parking.
many parking
I
spaces
only
do you have
2
on
cars.
your site?
Only one house that is behind the construction of your Mine Street, 22 Stone, has a parking lot strip that they can park 2 cars.
2 cars. And 2 cars for one, and no parking for any of the others?
No, no parking. They're all on the street.
Okay.
Thank you.
There are no additional comments, you have a, yes, please step forward.
Okay, thank you. Charles Kratovil, in Brunswick. I just wanted to ask if the planning board or the attorney from the planning board could speak to whether or not it is ethically appropriate for Mr. Kelso to be representing the developer. He's, of course, also representing the county government. That ethically.
Why don't you leave?
Actually, no,
It's irrelevant to the planning board whether or not I have the ability to represent an applicant before this board. It's not a determination that this board makes. I do it because I'm permitted to do it under the law. And Charlie, you know that. You know you've researched it. You're just creating mischief.
Sorry. Okay, I would encourage all the board members to look into it because it's only reasonable that the attorneys that represent folks at this board not have conflicts of interest with our own company.
The fact, I will address this to the board, the fact that Mr. Kratovil wants to state that there's a conflict, which is much like the blog is inaccurate, it is not a conflict for me to represent an applicant before this board.
If there's no other public comments, I would fortunately close this application for tonight. And we will reconvene at next month's meeting here. Further comment, testimony, as we speak is May 13th at 7:30. And at that time, we'll finish the hearing and should be right ready. Thank you.
Wow, this is getting pretty long. Not sure if excuse me. Oh, it's not every day that a project around here hits the path of a cone, and so, well, there you go. Well, it seems like this saga will have a bit more time to run, I suppose. Any comment?